The greatest barrier to spiritual enlightenment is that most people are not even aware of the possibility of knowing absolute truth. You'll never find what you believe it's impossible to find. The term absolute truth is synonymous with God, being, consciousness, and infinity. Don't let the word God throw you off. With the use of this word, I'm not pointing to an old burdened man up in the sky busy judging us. Instead, I'm pointing to the intelligence behind everything, the mind of the universe itself, what you could just as easily call life with a capital L. The idea that one can directly experience God is completely foreign to mainstream thought, and anyone claiming such direct knowledge is often dismissed as deluded or insane. Despite our technological achievements, society is still in its infancy when it comes to genuine spiritual understanding. The impressive technological advancements of recent centuries might deceive us into thinking humanity has significantly evolved, but in reality, we have barely begun exploring our spiritual potential. A society that fails to establish clear and widely accessible paths toward direct spiritual realization cannot genuinely claim to be advanced. Information like what you're hearing here would be common knowledge in a truly evolved society, yet today it remains largely overlooked. Society functions as an enormous machine designed to keep you from pondering life's fundamental questions. If everyone began contemplating the nature of existence, the gears driving our social machinery will grind to a halt. There isn't a hidden villain orchestrating this outcome. It's simply a natural result of the collective level of consciousness. The entire human population remains hypnotized by the belief in a material universe existing independently of the consciousness perceiving it. If you like to explore the metaphysical structure of the universe in greater depth, I highly recommend my video Life is a Dream, Idealism and the Mental Universe Explained, where I examine the fundamental problems with materialism and explore how consciousness is the building block of reality. From birth, we are conditioned to view reality as an unsolvable mystery, but this notion comes from those who've never seriously attempted to understand the essence of things. Trusting society on spiritual and metaphysical matters is like taking weight loss advice from someone who's overweight. We live in a spiritually impoverished society, where people's inner potential remains completely untapped. While modern society offers countless benefits, such as infrastructure, laws, education, and medicine, metaphysical understanding isn't among them. To think otherwise is a grave mistake. The mystery of reality exists only because of our ignorance. There is no inherent mystery. Absolute truth permeates every moment and place. The apparent mystery about the nature of reality persists only through our unawareness of absolute truth. Science excels at improving quality of life, yet it cannot answer humanity's fundamental questions, at least not in its current form. Future science will eventually address these questions, because it will have evolved into mysticism. This is the crucial point. To answer life's deepest metaphysical questions, you cannot rely on others. The burden and privilege of answering these questions rests with you alone. What sets mysticism apart from science, philosophy, and religion is the absence of any intermediary in the process of knowledge itself. A mystic knows God directly. A mystic journeys so deeply inward that they discover the truth of their being. Science, as currently practiced, moves outward, exploring the phenomenal world. Yet a scientist who thoroughly studies the external world will eventually realize There is no real distinction between internal and external. A scientist who completes their study of nature inevitably becomes a mystic. The earliest scientists were also philosophers, and ancient philosophy was essentially mysticism. The writings of quantum physics pioneers perfectly illustrate how genuine science leads to mysticism. As Werner Heisenberg, one of quantum mechanics' founders, observed, the first gulp from the glass of natural sciences will turn you into an atheist, but at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting for you. The mystic travels so far inward that they discover the illusory nature of the internal-external duality. A scientist who truly studies nature, free from materialist preconceptions, venture so far outward that they too recognize this division as unreal, like all dualities. Understanding the non-dual nature of reality is precisely what makes a mystic. This direct knowing is like falling in love. No amount of poetry, scientific analysis of hormones, or philosophical discourse on the nature of love can substitute for the actual experience. You cannot outsource falling in love to an expert or learn it from a textbook. Love must be lived, just as absolute truth must be directly experienced. The key difference between mysticism and all other forms of knowledge is that mysticism relies on direct experience. There is no intermediary or interpretation in the direct knowledge of absolute truth. You can know truth because you are part of reality. You possess the innate capability to grasp it fully. You are the universe actualizing itself in human form. Once your consciousness expands to a universal level, no mystery can remain. You are reality. Therefore, you can understand what reality is. All of reality's secrets are accessible to you. This has been the message of mystics throughout history. The greatest deception you have been fed is the notion that life's fundamental questions cannot be definitively answered. If you have truly grasped what you have heard, you should feel quite upset. Why were you never taught that unveiling the mysteries of existence is possible? You can absolutely know yourself because you are the universe itself. Absolute truth is direct, unchanging, and eternal. Knowing absolute truth means knowing what you are and what everything else is. Awareness of absolute truth will end your existential doubts forever. No one will be able to sway you with religious, scientific, or philosophical narratives, because you will see truth directly, without intermediaries. You can unveil every mystery about the universe's existence. Truth exists, yet no one seeks it, and those who claim to seek it are often farthest from it. We all have access to heaven's door, yet we choose to ignore it, preferring to live among shadows. What could be more important than understanding life itself? Most people show no interest in spiritual inquiry because no one wants their illusions shattered. No one willingly abandons their beliefs. Yet spirituality requires the complete abandonment of beliefs and opinions, allowing divine light to emerge in all its beauty within everyday reality. It's possible to know absolute truth. It's possible to answer the existential questions that have haunted humanity since the dawn of time. Our society completely ignores this possibility. We are not taught that absolute truth is knowable. The fundamental reason: society itself cannot answer the deepest metaphysical questions. How can a society that fails to address life's fundamental questions call itself advanced? Throughout history, countless mystics have consistently shared a message pointing to humanity's potential for knowing absolute truth. Unfortunately, this message remains misunderstood or ignored. We fail to recognize that every mystical philosophy teaches the same truth. We are confused by different cultural symbols, when in reality these symbols all point to the same absolute truth. The teachings of mystics across all ages are identical. The truth in the Bhagavad Gita, for instance, is the same truth found in the Tao Te Ching and the writings of Meister Eckhart. While deciphering the symbolism of different traditions requires a trained eye, anyone who has experienced these realities directly recognizes the profound unity of their messages. All philosophies containing deep spiritual teachings point to the same absolute truth. This should revolutionize your existence. You can understand reality completely, because you are reality. No barrier exists between you and reality itself. Those who've awakened to divine knowledge have shared paths to help others achieve the same consciousness. There are roads you can travel to reach direct knowledge of absolute truth. From a purely rational standpoint, most people's reluctance to embark on this journey defies explanation. If you'd stop listening to those who've never engaged in honest inner contemplation, you discover thousands of years of accounts from spiritual explorers sharing their discoveries to help you reach the same realizations. Why listen to scientists, religious leaders, philosophers, entrepreneurs, or anyone else who has no experience with absolute truth, yet insists it's unknowable? The epistemological error of those who a priori affirm the non-existence of absolute truth will be the same error committed by someone affirming the non-existence of the city of London without ever having undertaken the journey to verify its existence. It's like claiming honey isn't sweet without ever tasting it, or insisting the view from a mountain summit is a myth while refusing to climb. This epistemological error is severe and prevents any honest inquiry about London. You can only claim with certainty that London doesn't exist after personally traveling to where it's supposed to be and confirming its absence. Throughout history, hundreds of thousands have visited London and reported its existence. Asserting it doesn't exist before going there yourself is a serious epistemological error. The opposite attitude is equally problematic. Merely believing in London's existence without visiting won't let you experience walking through Hyde Park. You can become a mystic. You can know God directly. This is what distinguishes mysticism from science, philosophy, and religion. Asserting something exists or doesn't exist without honest investigation is equally problematic. A person of faith commits the same epistemological error of an atheist. They both believe. The religious person believes in God. The atheist believes in its non-existence. Both positions ignore the possibility of direct divine knowledge. Science that doesn't evolve into mysticism isn't true science. Philosophy that doesn't transform into mysticism isn't true philosophy. The glaring error of science and philosophy is assuming direct knowledge of absolute truth is impossible. Why engage in endless philosophical or scientific debates about truth when you can know absolute truth firsthand? Throughout history, hundreds of thousands have been to London, returned, and shared their experiences. After so many travelers have shared their accounts, anyone who truly wants to know London can decide to go there themselves. Humanity's catastrophic mistake is believing it's impossible to buy that plane ticket to London. Of course, this London analogy isn't really about the British capital, it's about God. Throughout history, hundreds of thousands have shared their direct knowledge of absolute truth. Yet humanity continues to ignore this possibility. Like people born in darkness, debating whether sunlight exists, we argue about God while refusing to step outside. London exists, but most people either refuse to make the journey or content themselves with second-hand accounts when they could walk London streets themselves. You need no external authority to unveil the mystery of your being. Why settle for stale second-hand accounts when you can drink directly from being's fountain of knowledge? Imagine trying to understand love solely through others' descriptions. Reading every poem, studying every psychological theory, listening to countless stories of romance, yet never allowing yourself to fall in love. This is precisely what humanity does with spiritual truth. We study it, debate it, believe or disbelieve in it, everything except directly experience it. No scientist, philosopher, religious leader, guru, or teacher can transmit the knowledge of your own being to you. Neither can I. You have to walk the path and discover for yourself your true nature as consciousness. If this video has resonated with you, I encourage you to watch Swimming in Infinity: The Nature of Absolute Truth, where I explore what absolute truth actually is and what it means to experience it. Thank you for watching, and until next time.